Hello, this is Katy Huff with Katy Huff Ministries calling out to all of you. And great that you are here listening to Setting Yourself Free, a podcast where we are encouraging people to be set free from whatever is holding you back from being, doing, and having all that you were created to be. And I am so excited to have Miss Teresa Woolard here from Canada. So we are international podcast with Miss Teresa. And I just want to give you some direction. If you're wanting to follow Setting Yourself Free podcast, we are at www.katy-huff.com to learn more about my book, coaching, courses, and retreats that are every year in Montana, in Prairie, Montana, in Paradise Valley. So I'd encourage you to follow Katy Huff Ministries on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more encouragement and stay up to date on all things happening with Katy Huff Ministries. And so, Teresa Woolard, we are here and excited to hear about what you are setting yourself free from, because that is the $100,000 question we ask everyone is, what have you set yourself free from?
Well, thank you, Katy, for having me on this podcast. I love just sharing my experiences because I've done a variety of things over my 30 plus years. But when you ask that question specifically, what have I set myself free from? And that's an easy one to answer at this point, because I recently just sold my corporation, which had 2 award-winning restaurants, upwards of 17 employees. I just sold my corporation 3 months ago. And while it was really fun in the beginning, it became quite burdensome and overwhelming and a lot of work in the last few years. And I was so happy to actually have sold it. So that has set me free, because that was way more consuming than I ever thought it ever would be, even though you feel you can leverage yourself through employees. But in the end, it felt more like I was working for them, and it just became so consuming that one day bled into the next, and it just was never ending. You had no time for yourself, no time to do the other things that you would like to do, like fitness, travel, visiting family. And so this was a really tough year, Katy, because I lost my mom last year, and she knew the struggles I was going through, and to not have her there to support me and guide me, even though I'm, you'd think I would have learned and maybe didn't need her anymore, but I still think you need that. For me, I still needed her in my life. So that became extra hard going through COVID. We still had a lot of lockdowns here in Canada, in Ontario, Canada, during last year and even through the beginning of this year. I lost 2 chefs and 4 servers all within like a week or 2 in February after the last lockdown. So I became also the server, and as well as running 2 restaurants and doing everything else. So it became really tough, especially while I was still mourning. I never took time off to mourn my mom. And so I was still grieving her and having to still, have that positive face and energy for my staff, for my clients. I'd say it was the toughest year of my life was this past year. So to have been able to release that and have someone else kind of carry the baton and my vision forward, I'm really happy about that. But I'm glad that I was able to find a buyer, because I don't think I could have continued through the summer.
Wow. Sounds like it was overload.
Emotional and physical overload.
I'm sure.
Agreed.
And probably spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, even. That sounds like it was really
heavy.
Hard.
It took me to dark places, Katy, that I've never been before.
Oh, wow. Can you share some of the sequence of events that you went through to be set free, like some of even the dark places, if you want, or how you were able, or the sequence of events that helped you to just say enough is enough?
Yeah. When, I think you always have to check in with yourself, listen to your body. So being a veterinarian, I always promote that we still are very much like animals, and we have our own animal instinct, and we need to tap into that. We need to tap into that sense of self. And I know my body, and when I start feeling the anxiety, the clenching of the stomach, the heaviness in my heart. Yes, it was heavy because I'd lost my mom, but it was heavy also from the burden and stress and anxiety. There may have even been panic attacks. I've never had them before, but I was just experiencing bodily symptoms that I've never had before. And then I think what was even worse was emotionally, mentally, really negative thoughts of suicide, quite frankly,
Wow.
many, many times a day. So I just didn't think I could get through it. Because so the steps was being able to talk to others who'd been there. So a really good friend of mine from grade 4, she had lost her mom. My mom and her were best friends. She lost her mom 8 years ago. So I turned to her because she had been through it. So if you can find someone to support you, to listen to, that you can cry on their shoulder. My husband's a huge support too. I pretty well still cry every day, but being able to unleash, kind of relieve some of that burden, that emotional burden, is very helpful. I love fitness, so running for me, in the woods, walking on trails helped me a lot. Just being grounded with nature. So you got to know what works for you and what you enjoy, and just knowing your values. So I value health first and foremost for me. So if you don't have your health, then what good are you to yourself or to anybody else?
You have nothing if you don't have your health.
That's right. So when I know that it was affecting my mental health, my physical health, not being able to eat, not being able to, just knowing that it was taking a toll on me, and I felt like I was aging faster than I should have been. And having bad negative thoughts is not good. I knew that I needed to find somewhere and others to fall back on. And that's what I did. And then knowing that the restaurants were not helping me at this stage, even though they were my babies for many years, they were like my babies. But the last couple of years, it became overwhelming with government policies, rules, and it's hard to keep up. Employees being more savvy, again, hard to keep up. You just have to be like arms everywhere and just trying to tap into so many things all at once. So it was a tough year, and just understanding the value of my health being first and foremost, and knowing that I needed to get a hold of that first and do the things that I needed to release the stress was a long haul, but I'm happy to say I'm in a much better place now.
Well, timing is everything, right? And I'm a true believer that God walks beside us and through it, even though sometimes it doesn't feel that way. And you feel all alone, especially when you have those dark moments of wondering if you can even go on, is just, knowing that there's a plan, there's a perfect plan. And it's to be full of abundance and life that was designed for you. And so I totally understand. It's really hard. I lost my mom as well. And I was only like 32. And she had Lou Gehrig's disease, and she was very, very sick for 11 years.
Wow,
So
that's tough, and that's young.
Yeah, and so there's no closer bond than your mom.
Agreed. Agreed.
And hopefully you are in a place better now, like you said, where you can pause and have the good memories of the time that you had. And so I'm really sorry for your loss, because that's huge. But I can tell you from my point of view, I celebrate her birthday. I celebrate even the day that she was released of her body and her spirit being in the arms of Jesus. In my opinion, that's my belief, and that she's dancing on the streets of heaven now, on the golden streets of heaven, is how I believe it. And it gives me peace in knowing that she's been set free from this terrible disease. So, and that we will be rejoined again in paradise. Yeah. How I see
I hope so.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I believe that with all my heart. And so have you seen how through that maybe spiritually that you were loved on and guided through the love of God in your life, or how has that been for you?
I don't know, Katy. I've been wanting to, I know my mother, if there was some way she could reach me, she would. But I find just as I'm waking up most mornings, I get these messages, and I don't know if it's her, a spirit, the creator. I don't know. I'm trying to cling on to something, Katy,
Yeah.
and hope that there is something. To be honest, I haven't been an overly, religious person, but when having gone through this journey the past year and a bit, I have to believe, I think you're right. You have to believe in something. You have to believe that there's got to be something else beyond this life.
Amen.
And so maybe I'm having to go through this journey for a reason.
Oh, I have no doubt. I can tell you that, I mean, here's a question you have to ask yourself. If this is all there is,
I know.
it's like, oh my gosh, that is
not the greatest at times.
And especially what we've gone through, like you said, in the last 2 years, it's just like, no. I choose to believe that there is the truth, the way, and the life, and that's through my God, which is Jesus, and that I truly know that we will be reunited, and that the messages that you're hearing is, in my opinion, from my belief system, is the Holy Spirit. And because we are a mind, body, and spirit, I mean, no one can deny that there is a spiritual realm. So when you think about having a relationship with a heavenly Father that loves you so much, that wants nothing but the best for you, and wants to support you in, just if you can visually see in your mind's eye, him wrapping you up like a father would, and holding you as you are going through any loss, whatever that may be, that you're not alone ever, that people love you, he loves you, and that there is an opportunity to be reunited spiritually in the heavenlies. And that is something that we're all on our own journey, and it's all our own timing. But you literally hearing in your quietness, I truly believe that it can be God reaching out to you and letting you know that all is well. And I know that's hard, but take it baby steps, and have, like, if I could encourage you, is to, I always say, our mind's like an umbrella, and it works so much better when it's open. And I know you're very open, because I look at your career pathway, and it's like, it's over the top of everything that you've accomplished. And that was also by a divine direction, because he wouldn't, you wouldn't have been able to do as well as you did if you didn't have someone that was holding you up and pushing you forward and saying, you can do this. So I just want to just speak truth and life into you, so you know that you are loved, and that there is an opportunity in heaven to be reunited, and that your mother is your guardian angel from above looking down, and she's saying, well done, my daughter. Thank you. I can tell you that from the bottom of my heart. And so that's an awesome opportunity for you to also, grieve, and also be able to be set free from the grief, and to be able to look to a reuniting and a reunion another day. And so I'm just so grateful and thankful that you've been able to share what you've been set free from. So it sounds like all of us, there's more than one thing. It's like, which one do we choose? Is it the grief, or is it getting rid of a business, or is it all of the above? And maybe we need to have you back again, because there's so much to Dr. Teresa Woolard, and which is
thank you. That would be nice. I'd like that.
And I
have lots to share, like I said, and I'm going to take, process this over the next little while. And, I'm always one about learning and growing and getting better and trying to be the best version of myself. And so if I can bring what I've learned from even this process, running a business, a stressful business, while grieving at the same time, and how I can maybe help others, then I will find a way and do that in the near future.
It's beautiful, because here's the thing, is our test becomes our testimony. And the mess that we're in becomes our message.
Exactly.
And I am a walking, talking billboard in regards to that, because my book is called Unmasked, and taking the mask off and being true to who you are, and who you were created to be. And so what advice would you, other than don't create a restaurant, what other advice would you have for someone who may be going through something similar?
With their business or grieving?
Which maybe both.
Okay. I think because I've been not as harshly to this point that I just experienced this past year, but I've been here before as a veterinarian, like I said, when I thought I was in my dream job. And when I realized I wasn't happy, that I was sick a lot and having respiratory problems and couldn't eat and lost 12 pounds without even trying, something was not aligning with my values. And when I think you have to listen to your body, like I said, know your body, know the things that, aren't making you happy. If you're not experiencing happiness, joy, and the things that you should be, there, you should maybe check in with yourself and have a check in with your values. Are you aligned in your career? What you're doing day to day, are you aligned with the values that's important to you? And like I said, health was very important to me. When I know that my health is being affected ongoing, there's something wrong. And that's when, and then just going through this issue with my mom and my businesses, when I'm not having fun anymore, when you get to this stage in your life, Katy, and I think we're about the same age, you realize you got to start having fun. Like, why, like you said, why are we here? If it's just to work, then forget it. I'm checking out and I love work. And I want to share, and I want to strive to bring my gifts to the world and help others. And I don't want to have any regrets later in life on my deathbed. I want to do the things that I am meant to do here. There's got to be a purpose. I think finding our gift, doing our purpose should lead us to fulfillment. And if you're not feeling fulfilled, then something's maybe not a lot, you're not doing something aligned with your values. So you got to know yourself, know your values, and try to align your values with what you do. Then I think we'll have more happiness, more joy, and more fulfillment in our lives. So that's what I am doing myself and what I want to try to teach others.
Oh, that's beautiful. And that's how you will be able to make a bigger impact and leave a legacy for those that you have helped to become set free. And you're right. Our bodies will, my background is I'm a registered nurse and also sold pharmaceuticals. However, your body will let you know what is going on. And right. It's like, it starts in our head a lot of times, emotionally, yes, like you said, and then you start seeing the visibility of it, the effect of it by looking in the mirror and going, oh my gosh, something's not right. So yeah, agreed. That is such a blessing that you were able to recognize that, to be able to move out of that. And so, and the grief, I can tell you this, everyone's journey in grief, I'm sure you'll agree, is individualized. And that there's days even now where, my mom's been gone since 1998. And wow. There isn't a day that I don't think about her. And there's many times when I'm talking to her, because I believe spiritually we are still connected and that she can hear me. So how would you talk about being set free from the grief?
I think, pardon me?
It is a process, as my Canadian girlfriends would say, process.
Right. Yeah, it's just, people were saying, well, maybe you should seek therapy. And I thought about it. But again, knowing my body, I knew that I needed to release through physical effort, running, walking, weight training, being with nature, because I value nature and health, talking to others. I'm a big communicator. Talking helps me. I help being surrounded by others who care about you, and that you can trust, and feeling that support, right? So just knowing that you have someone to count on, to call upon, and maybe more than one person is wonderful, but at least if you can find one person to I think get it out, release. Maybe that's me because I'm an expressive, but it really helped me to get through it. And knowing that she would have wanted me to do these things that I'm moving forward on doing. She would have wanted to see me do these things, my career. I also have a book in the works, another book, and a course, because that was one of the last things she said to me on her hospital bed was go work on that course. And so I have to do it. I don't want those regrets later in life, Katy. That'll bother me.
Right.
So I know she's still here, and I still hear her in my head, guiding me along. So just have faith that they are still here.
Right.
And you just keep one day at a time. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Because like you said, it is a process to get through this. So don't be hard on yourself.
Right.
You're only one person.
Absolutely. Be kind to yourself, because, it's like you said, it's a process. And some days it's going to be 100%. And other days it might be 10% in the sense of how you're coping. And it's not wrong to pause. And I've always talked and trained people in coaching about the 3 Ps, that you pause, you pray, and then you wait until you have peace. And when you have peace, that's when you can move forward. But if you don't have peace, you should just sit in that and wait until you do have it, because that means that you're on the process of obviously healing and getting better. Yes. And it's some days, some hours, some minutes. It's just like, that I keep going back to the song, Jesus Take the Wheel. It's like, I'm gonna let you drive this because I'm not doing it very well today.
So true. Yeah. You have to know your limits and what you're, just don't put time pressure, even though I'm feeling time pressure in some respects, but at the same time, like I said in the beginning, you still have to take care of yourself first before you can help others. It's that oxygen mask thing, right?
Exactly.
So I'm finally coming around to being able to take that mask off and help others.
All right. Well, that is an absolutely beautiful full circle story and example of, where you have had so much success. And then of course, the loss, but then coming back into, God's plan, and just knowing that timing is everything. Timing is everything with your course. Timing is everything with the book. Timing is everything with, just the plan for our life. And when we try to force that square peg in a round hole, it doesn't always work. And so pausing is so important. I'm so happy to hear that you are doing that. And I look forward to hearing you again and sharing even lots of other things in regards to your resume's got to be at least 20 pages long, I would, which is awesome. And I applaud you and acknowledge just all the good that you've done, and that you are being seen from above by that guardian angel, and she is proud of you. And so I just want to thank Dr. Teresa Woolard for being here with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. This is episode 12. And I am thrilled to share with you that we do have women's retreats in Montana. And I am encouraging you to check out www.katy-huff.com to learn more about that retreat, the book, coaching courses, and retreats. And you can follow Katy Huff Ministries on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more encouragement and stay up to date on all things happening with Katy Huff Ministries. So thank you and have a blessed day.
Thank you, Katy. Thank you, everyone.